What's up, everybody? It's another No Pants review, closing in the year with the Batman 75th anniversary. And tonight we're going to be reviewing, talking about Batman Begins, the beginning of the Christopher Nolan trilogy. The trilogy that stars Christian Bale's Batman, several awesome lead villains that everyone's known and come to love over the years. It's more common and more recent with, I guess, this generation than some of the other movies we've reviewed, like Tim Burton's, which still go back and watch them if you've never seen them. They're classics, but I think more people, at least this day and age, are caught up on these. I think common people, not just fans or whatever. But that being said, Kevin, you said that you've seen this less than I have, so let's see your comments on it first for mine, I guess.
I don't know, like for some reason it didn't make it to the theater for this one. My family was moving between Georgia and Alabama when this came out, so we didn't make it to the theater. And then, I didn't even bootleg movies, but I had the bootleg version of this, like, just a little bit early. And it was a crappy version. I just never could get into this movie. Like, I really like the Scarecrow in it. Christian Bale's great, I do love all the updates, just like, I don't know, it's just a little flat for me. Like, I just didn't, I thought it was overrated.
Yeah.
I don't feel that way about the next one, but like this one, I don't like origin movies, so to me that was just kind of dull. You had to backpedal and re-explain everything. Like, come on,
it's already been explained.
Who doesn't know who Batman is?
Who doesn't know that his parents were? Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like Batman, Superman, and Spider-Man, you shouldn't have to backpedal. You can just jump right in. Which, granted, Christopher Nolan's takes a little different. How he gets into the League of Shadows.
League of Shadows.
Right?
Which, it's called the League of...
League of Assassins.
Yeah, and they call it League of Assassins, yeah.
So, that's all different, that's cool, but like, I don't know, I didn't need to wait, 45 minutes before you see him in the Batman outfit?
Something like that, yeah. And I do agree with you in much a sense on that, what's another origin story? Hopefully here with Batman vs. Superman, we don't have to hear origin stories all over again, but that being said, I do like this take on an origin story very well, actually, and I like that they incorporated League of Shadows into it. And I've always been kind of big on origin stories, you get to see the underdog come up and everything. That's cool to me. Especially because they're like fighting with katanas on ice, and that's just awesome. But
no, that's awesome. But like, do you like the fight choreography in this?
I mean, it's good for the most part, I guess.
You think so?
I haven't watched it in a while, but
because I just remember, I can't remember about this movie specifically, but in the Dark Knight, the follow-up, the reviewers and whatnot made a big deal about how ultra realistic the fighting was, because in real life, fighting's not all cool and choreographed. It's all rough and brutal with knees and elbows, and it's not cool to look at.
Yeah.
Because you think about it, he never has like a cool throwdown with the Joker or any of his goons.
Huh.
And I kind of remember this one being like that too, where like, him and Raish, they have the cool thing in the ice.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like, you never really see them do any like badass Muay Thai or anything crazy.
That is kind of true. Yeah.
It's all kind of shaky cam, close up.
Yeah.
And that always bugged me.
Huh.
Or that's how I remember it being. Maybe it's different.
I haven't thought about that, but yeah. But I do love things that I liked about this going into it, it being the beginning of Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy and the first of his major blockbusters, I guess to say. I was intrigued by the fact that he went into the series saying that he didn't want to use major villains that had already been used before, and he didn't want to recycle old villains and things like that, and he jumps that off with the Scarecrow and Ra's al Ghul, which is awesome. That being said, the next movie is Two-Face and Joker, who've been done before, but whatever, it's still, I love that he does this with the Scarecrow, because I've always liked the Scarecrow, and I thought it was great to see him in a movie finally. And I think that in the ultimate, like, tale of Batman in the Batman universe, you can't just not do Ra's al Ghul. I mean, he really crosses past the Batman way too many times, so I really appreciated this movie for the fact that it brought them into it. That being said, I mean, you know, I mean, Liam Neeson's badass. He's Qui-Gon Jinn. He's the Great Jedi. But it was weird when it finally. Well, I mean, I guess this is the intro, not the review, but whatever.
Everybody knew.
This shit has come out in '05. Like, you know, like. You know, when it turns out that he's Ra's al Ghul, it's like, okay, so you have this Chinese warlord looking guy, like that's definitely Ra's al Ghul. That's what he looks like in the comics, and then it turns into like this British, like Liam Neeson, which is still badass. Don't get me wrong, but it's just kind of that was the only thing.
So that surprised you?
That was the only thing that really threw me off. Yeah, it was that. I mean, the fake, the whole, you know, the front didn't surprise me. The fact that it was a British dude was Ra's al Ghul that surprised me. But as far as casting goes, I guess is what I should say. But yeah, I mean, otherwise, I love this movie. The only other thing I can think of, and I don't know if maybe critics said something about this, or if, you know, Christopher Nolan or costuming saw the design flaws in their own stuff, but I love the fact that in this one, you're looking at the bat suit and you're like, that shit looks uncomfortable as hell, because like he is just like,
and then they address.
there's so many points where he's just like, hey, like he turns his whole body to speak to someone, and yeah, in the beginning of Dark Knight, he's like, dude, you gotta fix this, like I can't turn my neck or whatever.
Now, as a fun fact, you know who would have played the Scarecrow if they would have made a third, not Tim Burton, the other gentleman.
Schumacher.
They made a third Schumacher movie.
Huh.
Nicolas Cage would have played the Scarecrow.
I think I've read that before.
Oh god, I wish that would have happened. I would have loved that.
Because he loses his shit all the time.
Yeah, like he's crazy anyway. And this is late 90s Nicolas Cage, where he's kind of buff.
Yeah. But now he's Ghost Rider. Yeah, whatever. But other things, I guess. I mean, I've always liked the take on Scarecrow in this.
Mm-hmm.
There's a thing I might mention after the movie, but something that always stood out to me in this one that they never brought back in the other ones is the point. I think it's towards the end when he calls in all the bats from the Batcave and they like swarm the parking deck so no one can see what's going on. Like I thought that was really intuitive, and you don't ever see that really in any other ones. And
yeah, we'll talk about this later, but isn't this one, as realistic as this one is, isn't it where this is the most sci-fi of the three movies? Because you have fear toxin, which doesn't exist in real life. You have the bat sonar thing, not real. You have where they melt the water or whatever.
oh yeah.
And then the next two movies, I don't think there's anything outlandish at all, really.
Well, you could make a kind of fear toxin in a sense, more of like a hallucinogen, than like. But I see what you mean. And the other stuff, yeah, it is outlandish.
Well,
I guess
outlandish
so.
isn't the right word, but like.
I see what you mean.
This is a more loose reality than the next two.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, a little more comic-y.
Yeah.
But I guess that was like you're transitioning out of this zany as fuck like Schumacher weird like neon like future weird thing going on into this like you're trying to be like super realistic and you know, which I thought was awesome, and it's very dark, which again I think is awesome. It's one of my favorite things about this trilogy is how dark they make it, because it's what Batman deserves, is a dark tale, but you know, Dark Knight. But anyways, I mean,
I don't know, you want to run through any more of the casting, or you think they're familiar enough with it?
I mean, okay, well, I forget, Katie Holmes plays Rachel Dawes in this.
And they recast her.
And in the other recast her in the sequel.
I don't remember having a preference, do you?
Not really. I mean, they're both good in my opinion, really. I mean, they just, I don't know, it's weird. If you watch them back to back, you notice it, but if you watch them like a week or two apart, it's kind of like, you know, dismissible.
Exactly.
I mean, for real. But I like Cillian Murphy as the Scarecrow. Dog quit. But yeah, the main thing that I've noticed going back to like all these movies though is really how often Christopher Nolan recycles his cast members, which really, I mean, it's like he's got his like little crew, which is straight, but I mean, that's not anything as bad as like every other Tim Burton movie is Johnny Depp, I guess.
Yeah,
But
he's not reached Tim Burton or Kevin Smith level
yeah,
recycling.
yeah. So, but it's still, I mean, they're all great actors. So I mean, he's done a great job with the cast.
Gary Oldman.
Yeah, Gary Oldman. And I love Michael Caine as Alfred too. For real, he's a great Alfred. He might not have the mustache, but it's all good. But oh yeah, and it's also weird how Christian Bale comes out of The Machinist into this, because he's like teeny, like just scrawny dude in The Machinist. He's like an insomniac, and he's like, we're not talking about that movie right now, but anyways, he's really tiny in that movie, and then you go into Batman, and he's just like, huge, and he's got a beard.
He weighs like what I weigh, and he's like a foot and a half taller than me.
Yeah, yeah. And then you come into this, and he's all like roaming the mountains with his like massive beard, and like fighting off groups of like whatever they are, some kind of like Asians, some kind of like Genghis Khan. Now that we've been have rewatched Batman Begins, we're here with our exclusive nowadays review of it after we've not seen it for a while, or had seen it recently, or professional criticism, if you will.
Or in-depth analysis.
Yeah, in-depth analysis. So
when was the last time you watched the movie? Because it's been potentially 4 years since I've watched this last. Maybe longer, really.
Well, it's been a little bit since I've seen it. 1 second. I have this, already, but I have this cool, like, limited gift set edition thing of it. So, I mean, I always was into the movie.
Yeah, he loves it so much he has 2 copies.
2 copies now, yes. Because apparently gift set edition doesn't agree with Xbox or DVD player or anything. So we don't understand why, but I've had this gift set since The Dark Knight was in theaters, and I always liked the movie personally, but I haven't watched it in a while since I, started kind of seeing things a little differently with movies and stuff, and not just as like a fan, but as like kind of a critic almost. Kind of like how I feel about music now. Like I hear music differently as a musician than as just someone who listens to music. But anyways, that being said, it's probably been about 2 years since I've seen it, and 2 or 3 years. And last time I watched it, I'm pretty sure that I fell asleep watching it, because it was just something I put on like to chill and fall asleep to, and not like actually watch. How about yourself?
I definitely liked it better this viewing than the last time I saw it, which is maybe the first time I ever saw a real DVD copy of it, not a bootleg. Which is really weird, because I just don't bootleg movies like that, or music, so it's just odd. That's one movie I've only ever seen on bootleg.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it more than I remembered. I think my copy's missing a scene or two, because there's stuff I didn't really remember, and I enjoyed it more, but I'm still really mad about it. I'll detail that later, a bit more later. How about you? Is it better than you remember, worse, same?
Well, I saw this one in theaters, but when I saw it in theaters, I want to say I was 15, and there hadn't been a Batman movie in theaters for a long time, and I was there with a girl that I was dating at the time, so I didn't exactly pay the most attention, if you know what I mean, and which was weird, because my mom was like totally a row below us, but
Sorry, Mom.
Sorry, Mom. but anyways, and then I, watched it again later on, and then watching it, as time progresses. Granted, it's been almost a freaking decade now. Wow, since it's come out, but
Oh yeah,
wow.
It's got a 10-year anniversary coming up.
That's crazy. I didn't think about that until just now. Like, wow. But anyways, it's kind of about the same. When I first saw it in the theater, well, you don't pay the most attention to it when you're with a lady because of whatever. But I also remember that I wasn't exactly like completely captivated by it per se, and that's I guess why I was so prone to distraction. But versus I saw Dark Knight 3 times in theater, and I took a girl to that one, and I was like, yeah, we're watching this movie. But anyways, it's when I saw it the first time, I was kind of like whatever about it, and then when I watched it again later, I was really impressed by it, and then now, even later, I'm kind of like more than whatever. Like it's good. It's still really good in my opinion. It's better than the Schumacher movies in my opinion by far. It's better than most. It's better than like Adam West Batman or it's a
Definitely.
good Batman. But it's just there's certain things about it that kind of bug me about it now. Like pros to it and things that I like are as opposed to you, you're different, but I kind of like origin stories. It's cool to see like the upbringing. It is boring at some points, it is, but it's like it's just cool to me like to see that process, I guess, and everything. But anyways, I also like how many of these like not linear mainframe characters, villains that is, that get involved in this movie. It's really cool to me because you've got like at any point 4 to 5 villains rotating in and out of the movie, and in the next 2 movies it's just a main villain with a side villain or two, and then a main villain with like a random anti-hero woman thing, and it's just, I don't know. When I first rewatched this, that's what got me so amped about it, was that there were so many side characters included in the movie that are in the Batman universe, versus how the sequels to it were kind of, I don't know. There was just there's an interview with Christopher Nolan about this movie, and he's like, I wanted to use characters that no one really was into, that hadn't been put in movies before. And holding true to that, none of these characters really have been in a Batman movie before. But literally every character he uses after that, except Talia al Ghul, is just a remake of a character in another movie. So that kind of let me down in a sense, and I think that's why, in my head, back of my mind, I really like this movie. However, cons to it are like some of the cooler scenes, which I'm sure Christopher Nolan had a lower budget and production at the time, but the fighting is really just fast paced. It's almost motion sick worthy. Like you don't really. It's just blurs of what's going on. Yeah, shaky cam.
Sorry to ruin that for you.
Sketchy, whatever. But it's not. You don't ever actually see like just a full-on fist fight.
Yeah.
It's just like shakiness and just, oh, this guy got hit, and now, oh, this happened, and whoa, this flew over here, and
Him versus Raish, that gets some cinematic consideration, but him just fighting goons is nothing but motion.
Yeah. Versus like, you think of Tim Burton's and he like backhand punches a dude and then kicks him in a sewer and throws a bomb in after him. Like that's awesome.
Yeah, like we're still talking about that. There's nothing like that in these movies. There's no like, oh my god, can you believe when he punched him in the throat and then did this or that? No, there's nothing in that. You can't tell anything he does. The one that stood out to me was when he breaks Raish's sword.
Yeah, when he's like,
I can't name another cool fighting he used.
It really is. I mean, there's certain things in it that are cool. Like I really like once Gotham is totally intoxicated with a fear, and Batman's like flying overhead, and the people look up, and it's just like glowing red from the eyes and mouth, and screaming. It's just this like creepy looking bat silhouette.
That is a good image.
But it's just like, and it's gone. Like it's just as quick-witted and shaky and just boom as the fighting sequences. Like it's a really memorable moment, but that's all it is a moment. It's not like you see it again. And like the sequences of him flying in this movie using the Batcape are cool because he doesn't do it so much in the sequels, but they're extremely short-lived. Like it's just flashes or like this random like him like camera right here and him like, whoa, I'm flying, and then whatever. So I mean, there are things that they could have done to make it better in my opinion, but I mean, for the most part, coming into an origin story, using characters that have never been used before, writing storyboards for them to fit the movie and an audience, and coming out of these zany, twisted, crazy Batman movies. You know, like, you had a lot on your shoulders to try to like really do, and I feel like overall he did a really good job, and it's a really good movie.
He gave the franchise its dignity back.
Absolutely.
Which he had a massive pit to dig his way out of.
Absolutely, and he did that. That pit bigger than in Dark Knight Rises. But yeah, I mean, there's a couple little irks here and there that
I'm
get to me.
sorry, I just now got that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's so good. There's little irks here and there to me, like Carmine Falcone. I mean, you know, if you're gonna nitpick, for instance, Carmine Falcone is a little more, I don't want to say old, because he's like a Marlon Brando, like Godfather character anyways, but he's just not as like, I don't know, he's a little more like heavy set than I remember in the comics, I guess. Like, he's not, you know, which none of them are frame by frame representations of comics anyways, so that's just, like I said, being nitpicky, but everything else is awesome. I mean, I love how they incorporate Zaz, and you see his scars and everything, so you know it's him. Although if you're not a real fan, you might not know, but that goes into the whole, how they throw so many villains into this that are just low-key.
That might be the best Easter egg in the 3 movies.
Yeah, him being in it, and then at the end, like you said, I love when he sees the evidence,
Yeah,
whatever it's called.
The Joker playing card.
Yeah.
That's the best teaser.
Yeah, it's
any
awesome.
comic book movie, freaking ever.
It's awesome. I mean, yeah.
But I think this is.
Maggie. Whatever they're called, Ziploc.
I think this is funny that this is the most comic influence Batman movie ever, because this borrows from Batman Year One, Long Halloween. I had one more. There's another story this draws from. I lost it. But yeah, this incorporates about 3 graphic novels -- influential comic runs, which is neat. That's really cool. They base so much of this off actual comic book stories. It still kind of bored me.
Yeah.
I think I found the analogy I like for these movies. To me, the Nolan trilogy is a lot like the original George Lucas Star Wars trilogy. Well, episodes 4 through 6, whatever.
Original trilogy.
Yeah. So you said you like A New Hope. You can rewatch that.
It's gonna be funny, like when we're old, and it's gonna be like Star Wars original trilogy, prequel trilogy, Disney trilogy. That's how it's gonna go down in the history books. Is Disney trilogy. But anyways, yeah, I mean, I like, because like I said, I mentioned,
Origin stories.
Yeah, I like origin stories, upbringing, and seeing them rise to power. However, this is me speaking out of like a high school to like, you know, 19, 20-year-old frame of mind. Nowadays, I'm more like, okay, I'm in the power now. Like, it's time to do some shit, you know. But anyways, your point.
Yeah, like New Hope bores the hell out of me. I've rewatched, as a kid, I watched Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi hundreds of times. I saw New Hope maybe 3, and I feel like I remember everything worth remembering about it. I never need to rewatch those.
Yeah.
This movie's a lot like A New Hope to me. It gets the ball rolling. It's great. It's influential. But there's just nothing there's nothing so cool you have to go back and rewatch it. And then Dark Knight, that's the Empire Strikes Back of the Batman trilogy.
Oh, dude, it's for sure.
It's flawless.
For sure.
And then
It's like we said, the first 10-minute bank heist
Yeah.
of Dark Knight is better than like half of any other Batman movie, just about. Like, it's.
now, do you agree Empire Strikes Back is flawless?
Would I say that?
Yeah.
Well,
That's definitely my favorite of the 3.
I would. That's the funny thing. This is not at all Batman
I
related.
know we're gonna go off on like a 20-minute
Tangent real
tangent.
quick.
We're gonna have to edit, but it's worthwhile.
I'm about to pull the mask off and get my slot saber out. But here's the thing. Super fans, you're one, I'm one, Jared's one. If Jared, I wish Jared was here just to talk because this
Yeah,
this
I
would be
wish
an
he
hour
was.
long tangent
Yeah.
now.
So he knows far more about Star Wars than I ever will.
It'd be a turn into an hour long tangent, but a lot of people like Empire Strikes Back the best, which is funny to me because it's the one that Lucas had the most creative control over, or the less. I mean, the least amount
yeah,
is what I meant.
least.
The least amount of creative control over,
He
but
didn't even direct that one.
nuh-uh, exactly. What I love about Empire is the battle scenes, the lightsaber fight. You know, Luke gets his hand cut off and all this shit goes down. But I'm like, Hoth is great, absolutely. But to me, what I didn't like about Empire is that even though it's a great movie, it begins on an awesome start and it ends with a cliffhanger. It's great. It's a perfect sequel. However, I hate the fact that I'm like, I literally witnessed the hero fall. You know what I mean? Like that, to me, that's like the Dark Knight Rises. Like you get to watch him get his back broke or something. I like Return of the Jedi the most, honestly, of the three, but it's because you have these badass planetary battles, plus space battles, plus lightsaber fights.
Yeah, that amps everything up.
Yeah.
I know I like my analogy because I think
I like your analogy.
I think 3/4 of hardcore fans would say Empire's the best of the three, and everybody will say Dark Knight's the best of the three of these movies. Like,
Absolutely, everybody.
I would be shocked to find somebody that says Batman Begins is the best.
Yeah.
And I love Rises, and they're not even close. But so to continue with this analogy, Return of the Jedi, people bitch and fucking moan about the Ewoks and a couple other little,
Harrison Ford
odd
included.
things. Yeah, him included. And then people fucking bitch about Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah. So there you go. It's
So
just,
that's where the contention is.
yeah. That's a good analogy.
So yeah, I liked this movie. It was fun. I'm glad I rewatched it. It's just really flat to me. Like let's see here on the good notes. Scarecrow's awesome.
Scarecrow is so cool, and Cillian Murphy's a great actor. He's been listed. I can't remember who it is that said it, but I remember reading on his IMDb one day. Some major actor was like, he is, in my opinion, the best villain, and it's because he has the cool demeanor. He's just very collect and just very like. That scene where he's arguing with Carmine Falcone, and then he gasses him. He's just so calm and cool, just like, really? Okay. He's just, he never gets mad, never angry, never shows anything. He's just emotionless. And then he's got those really piercing eyes and shit, where it's like you say, Christopher Nolan, and then wanted to make that prominent. But,
I love that he's so aware of like his own limitations and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's like, I get it, you're not afraid of me, but maybe you should be.
yeah. And if you're not, I can make you. It's,
Like there's no arrogance about his character.
No, there's really
which is
not.
very uncommon with villains.
Yeah. It really is.
The only thing I don't like is that he's just a hired gun, and he's just a stooge. That as smart as the Scarecrow is, if the plan comes to fruition, he's meant to die, and he'll never be the wiser.
I just had like a revelation. Why is there no story arc where he manipulates Batman and the Joker and then gasses both of them and puts them together in like an arena and see what happens? That would be crazy.
The stories I've seen where him and the Joker cross paths, either the Joker's immune to his toxin, or he's like, give me more, this is fun.
Of course. What? Of course he would. He's giving him the fear and Joker's giving him the laughing, smile, curse thing or whatever.
But they team up in Nightfall, which is, you still need to read that part.
I don't know, I don't know. I don't like seeing Batman get dead. I don't like seeing it. I know.
But yeah, so he's awesome. Liam Neeson, there's nothing he could have done to make it better. He's fine. He's great. Just my Ra's al Ghul is the one from the '90s animated series.
Yeah.
That's the perfect Ra's al Ghul to me.
in the '90s anime series, he has those very. It's weird because he's like European Asian in the '90s anime series. Like he's not totally. He's like he looks Japanese, but his eyes aren't like squinted. They're big. You know what I mean? Like Romanian or something.
They never say it, but what I would assume is that like his in the '90s series, what I get is like his dad's like a British explorer who hooks up with an Arab chick.
Okay, that makes sense. We'll see in Batman Son of the Demon, the graphic novel, it's obvious that he's like Persian or some Eastern Saudi Arabian kind of descent. And so to see Liam Neeson, an obvious British actor, as Ra's al Ghul is kind of weird.
Although Ducard seems like a French name to me.
Oh yeah, which is true, it does. I think that the guy who plays fake Ra's al Ghul looks more like Ra's al Ghul in my head than Liam Neeson. However, him as a character and the way he portrays him is a good portrayal. I mean, it's not how it is canon, so to say, but it's a good portrayal. The other things, what else is there to talk about? Rachel Dawes, they invent the character Rachel Dawes for the movie. And, she's got a good character and all, I guess, but she and Alfred both as side supporting characters, especially like, psychological help to Bruce in different parts. They're very like back and fucking forth all the time.
She is passive aggressive throughout this entire movie, and it feels very unwarranted.
Yes, yes.
Batman leaves. Bruce Wayne disappears face of the earth, and the last time she saw him, she slapped him in the face, which he kind of deserved it. I'm not arguing that.
He did. Oh, yeah, I get it.
But then the next time she sees him, he's part of the Wayne Industries, is that it?
Yeah, she sees him and he's partying with the random girls in the pool at the restaurant.
Yeah, and she's all huffy and passive aggressive about, oh, you're acting like a drunken idiot. And it should be like, Bruce, I'm so glad you're happy again.
Yeah.
You have women in your life. You have a job now.
Yeah.
It's great to see you're still alive, but no, just fucking bitchy.
Yeah, like literally, he had been declared dead.
Yeah, he's declared legally dead.
And she sees him again after he's declared dead, and she's just like, okay, you are being a fool. Like, and then later on, at the end of the movie, when she's all like, it is cool, like you said, that she points out that Bruce Wayne is the mask, not Batman. That's really deep and really cool. However, it's like, she says all of this, and then it comes out obviously in Dark Knight because that's like part of the whole. They write the letters and everything. But anyways, she makes the point of as long as Gotham needs Batman, we can never be together. Maybe one day Bruce Wayne will come back. But then, literally the next second you see them, they're holding hands, walking together, and then they're all kissing and being romantic and shit. But then, like, split second from romantic to like, okay, well I'm leaving. Like like she is so fickle, and it just doesn't.
That's a good word. That's a good description. She's very fickle. It's a very fickle lady.
Just women, I tell you. But it was just crazy. And then Alfred too, kind of is like where he's, like you said, I don't think that you should be doing this. This is foolhardy. You're not trying hard enough. You're not taking this serious enough. You're taking this way too seriously. Like. It's just
go be Bruce Wayne for a damn minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I love him as Alfred. But based off this movie, I'm not sure why I love him as Alfred. Like everything I love about this character comes into play in the next movie.
Right? About all of them, really, but yeah. Other things about the movie cast. Oh, okay. I definitely remember this. When I went and saw Dark Knight, I went opening night with my friend Ryan, and we see The Dark Knight, we're sitting in the theater, and as soon as they start introing Batman as a character, I'm just like, dude, when did this motherfucker start chain smoking cigarettes and just like going crazy, being in a death metal band? And in this movie, he does that like maybe twice. The whole like, other than that, it's just kind of like, hey, I'm the Batman.
Yeah, it's husky smoker voice.
Yeah. but it's understandable, you know, like you can tell what he's saying versus just where's the
ball?
Where's the ball?
Yeah,
Get the French fries.
As much as I love Dark Knight Rises, like him and Bane yelling at each other, it's just a damn parody. Like, you don't need an SNL parody. These are two human beings that aren't talking. Like anything remotely close to how a human being sounds. And he was the audience, you're just trying to make sense of this gibberish.
Oh, you don't understand.
Yeah. Drunk Sean Connery on a respirator versus this guy who's trying to try out for Cannibal Corpse.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. God, yes. And then Talia just comes in and stabs him. I mean, according to College Humor, I stabbed you first with my dick. I love that skit. Bad man. But okay. Anyways, let's see. Things about the movie.
I do love this that you know the comics. He's afraid of bats and he sees the bat. He's like, oh, I'll make that my symbol. Which, you know, that's good, you know, story, plot device, whatever. But, you know, in his universe, there's no superheroes yet. So the idea of making a bat costume is just bizarre. You can only take that. You can only take that from like. So Zorro kind of had an outfit, but I'm going to go, you know, way over the line. But in this movie, Ra's al Ghul's like top guys. They have, you know, this kind of ninja SWAT-esque
samurai
armor.
Yeah.
So Batman basically just takes what he was trained to wear and adds the bat motif.
Well, technically, his suit was already made. It was in Advanced Technologies Department.
Yeah, that's true too.
But he adds the gauntlets and he adds a lot of aspects from the armor. It's very true.
I just mean it makes a whole lot more sense for a guy who's already wore a type of armor uniform to just make it more baddish.
Especially considering
from I'm a normal guy and I'm going to dress as a bat.
Especially considering, like you said, that in his universe, in this universe, there are no superheroes yet. So it's not like Spider-Man where Peter Parker's a comic nerd in high school and he's like, okay, cool, I'm gonna get this. This is just a billionaire guy like, I need to be a symbol. Okay, and he gets badass armor and versus again Adam West Batman running around in gray and blue suit, just like rubber unitard or whatever. Like
yeah, like this is a really nerd point, but in stories like this, you got to take into account that there aren't superheroes. So the idea of, you know, these people dressing in outfits is just
bizarre. It is.
Like in Man of Steel, you see Clark Kent as a little boy playing in a red cape. And he's flying around the yard.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Superman does not exist in this universe. This is a serpent chasing its tail. Like this cannot exist.
I see what you're saying exactly.
Unless Zack Snyder wants to be like, well, in this universe, Captain Marvel is the highest selling comic book character.
Oh wow!
Which would be so fucking cool because Captain Marvel's a ripoff of Superman.
That would be like if M. Night Shyamalan co-wrote the next one. That would be crazy, dude. Like, what a twist, man. Oh. But I never even really thought about that.
Yeah.
Like, Superman doesn't exist
to
inspire a kid to run around with a red cape and act like this. What the fuck? Like, that really just boom. Like, wow. Huh.
I don't think I'm this smart, by the way. Kevin Smith says a Rams batter. I can't remember if I noticed it before he said so.
It's all good. You're both Kevins.
But back to Batman. I like him being in the League of Shadows. That's cool. Just
never really happened, but cool, right?
Yeah, that's a cool addition. Just it bugs me that he's made this deep in the organization. He doesn't know they kill people.
Right.
Like it should have been. He thought he was on board, and then at the last minute he realized, I'm not a killer. I can't take this man's life.
Right.
Because he just seems like a douchebag that's like, oh, I'm going to join the army so I can go to college, but oh, you want me to actually fight? Screw that.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I see what you mean there. And he does, like, when they literally, in one scene, it's like all of 4 or 5 minutes before he actually burns down the League of Shadows HQ. But they show him the guy that they tell him to kill, and they've got the guy in a cage, and they're like, we arrested him because of whatever his charges were, stealing from a farmer, or raping a goat or something. I don't know. I don't think it was the second one at all. But anyway,
never know.
And then later on, when he sees him again, he's like, "You have to kill him." He acts like he's like, "Who is this guy? Where did he get like he's just totally ignorant."
Yeah, he's like, this man deserves a trial, and it's like, you know what? I don't think League of Shadows has trials, but there was a process before this. They didn't just, hey, here's a random guy, kill him.
Yeah, like he obviously committed crimes worthy of death. And again, it's kind of like you're saying, like, okay, you're gonna tell me the richest dude in Gotham is gonna go hike a fucking mountain range to get some unnamed blue trippy flower thing, and then somehow perfectly preserve it up the fucking face of Everest to get to this weird, crazy, like, Japanese castle thing, get trained by ninjas, literally the world's top assassins, and then expect, I'm not gonna kill anybody? Are you for real? Like, that's just bullshit. Like, that's just silly to me. Like, so, I mean, it's really cool how they incorporated that, and I guess in Dark Knight, what the fuck? Did they even make a sense of that in Dark Knight Rises, that he's trained by League of Shadows and Bane was, or whatever, quote unquote? They do make a...
Yeah.
Okay, I don't remember, but I haven't seen it in a while, but...
Yeah, because Bane's like, I am the successor to Ra's, and you're the bastard son or something.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not verbatim, but he says
it's something like
along
that. It
those
really
lines.
is something like that, yeah. But yeah, so I mean, it was cool. It was super cool to me that they incorporated that, like super cool, because I mean, even in the Arkham games, you know, you kind of fucks with the League of Shadows for a minute before you realize what's going on. But still, it's like, for you to have escaped, like you're leaving Gotham at like 22, 21, 23, somewhere in that range, and then you're going to spend 4 years plus with this League of Shadows and literally be trained to be a top theatrical ninja assassin, and then
what does he think ninjas do? Does he think ninjas are like bodyguards?
Exactly, that's my point. It's like, dude, for real, like samurai were bodyguards, ninjas were assassins.
Okay, so superheroes don't exist in this universe and ninja movies.
Right. But yeah, I mean that was really cool to me. The whole way that they incorporate the overall, like, the master villain plan is really cool to me too. How they're like, we're gonna release the fear toxin in the water supply, but activate it via dehydrator. That's really cool. I mean, that's smart as fuck. And
that's super cool, but it still amuses me that this is the reboot of a new Batman franchise, and the very first Batman movie ever. It's poison into the water or into the general population.
Just like the Joker.
It's totally different, but it's still the same, core idea.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. But it is really just like, it's cool to me. It's scientific, but
except for I don't think the Geneva Convention ever allow for this water evaporation.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just all part of applied sciences department. I'm pretty sure Geneva Convention would authorize a fucking bridge-making, jumping tank thing.
No, I don't think you run into the Geneva Convention. I think you just run into, why do we need 2 tumbler tank things to do this? And we could just, use a helicopter.
Just do some tricks. But yeah, for real, that's true. We just literally drop a bridge versus we ramp these crazy tanks precisely the exact amount apart and then launch this bridge, which according to Lucius Fox never could deploy anyways. They never got it to work.
Yeah. Apparently, like, whoever the CEO of Wayne Industries was before Bruce takes over.
That dickhead guy.
Yeah, like, he was a hardcore, like, G.I. Joe fan. And he was like, no, this is how war works.
We definitely have the fucking bridging tanks. Like, this is...
I want action figure worthy body armor for our troops.
That's funny. You know how funny is think about like imagine this shit. Like what if Ted Turner, right? Like what if his money, what if he was the like backing bone of like the US military plus like whatever they else can do. And he was just like, look, for real, like I want lightsabers. Like I really want there to be lightsabers.
Lightsabers
like,
and jetpacks.
Yeah. Dude, that would be the shit, like for real. Like damn man. We have got to find some millionaires that are on point with this shit so we can like get some funding or something. I
You
was
see, Bill, you really need to get into weapon manufacturing.
Yeah. You already believe in depopulation. What the hell? I mean, why not? But the way that Ra's al Ghul dies in the end is cool to me because, you know, he's all. It's one of those pivotal moments. I guess Batman kind of makes this again with the Joker in the sequel, but he's like, you know, I don't have to kill you, but I don't have to save you either. And then the train goes off the tracks, and then there's this whole like maybe 40-second long sequence where there's just trains sliding around before it ever blows up. And then you see later on throughout the trilogy, it's like, oh, is he really dead? You know, like. Because he's got a Lazarus pit in the comics. So if you're going canon with the comics, I mean, the League of Shadows watched everything he did. So if this was going to go like with the comics,
and
how
you
it
know
worked.
he brought more than those 6 guys with him.
Yeah, so they would have just recovered his body, threw it in the pit, and he would have been reborn anyways as Qui-Gon Jinn. But that'll always be my favorite Liam Neeson role at the Taken, I'm sure. Almost. He's trying to do these backflips like little Aussies do, and I'm proud. It's awesome.
I also like how Bruce gets control of his company back.
Yeah, I do
That's
too.
cool.
It's very American Psycho. He really is just that arrogance is so strong in that little conversation in the limo where he's just like, yeah, we went public, and I'm the main shareholder, and you're fired, and Lucius Fox is taking your job, and fuck you. Like, he just owns the guy. It's so funny.
Also, do you notice how much jokier he is in this movie? Like, even in the Batman outfit.
He is a lot more comic. Yeah.
Like, I remember in Dark Knight Rises, you know, when Catwoman disappears on him, and he's like, huh, I guess that's what this feels like. That's funny, but I feel like that's the only joke he makes the whole movie. And this guy has a couple.
Yeah, he does. He does. And I guess that was like them trying to kind of keep the humor from the Schumacher films.
Or them just not deciding exactly what they want to do yet.
Yeah. I mean, what they ended up doing with Batman, we'll get to these obviously here soon with these sequels, but I really like how dark they took it, how personal they take it, how just mature overall they take it. When I think of jokiness superhero, I'm like, dude, Spider-Man. You know, like if I want a dude to be like making fun of his enemy while he's kicking their ass, I want to be Peter Parker, not Batman. Batman is just gonna rush in and be the world's greatest detective and know your motives while he's kicking your ass. You know, like he's not gonna be making jokes about it, especially when he's got armored nipples. You know, at least in those movies, that is. But
Mention the detective thing. He's really not a detective in the Nolan verse.
You're really making a good point there because I praise these, I always will, but in the Arkham games for Xbox, PlayStation 3, it plays on the greatest detective thing a lot. Like you actually go into detective mode. You have to analyze crime scenes, gather evidence, all kind of stuff. And he's just kind of like a vigilante. I mean, that's really all he is.
He's very reactionary.
He's just a vigilante, I think. But I also thought it was funny too. I know I pointed this out, but when he's suiting up, and it's like he's suiting up, and it's just for like split seconds that you see these things like suit, cowl, belt, batarangs, foldable batarangs. Like, what's the point of the foldable batarang? You never see the foldable batarang, and it's not like in the Schumacher ones where he pulls that one out and it folds out like, boom, boom, you know, like the blade thing. It's literally just like fold in half batarang. Like, it's just so pointless. So, I mean, that was kind of like, I didn't really get that part. And I feel like, I didn't even think about this, but in the Tim Burton Batmans, they never show like a suit up. And then there's that one, and that's like in the Schumacher ones. There was always those. Yeah, that's kind of like a Schumacher little Easter egg.
Because Tim Burton focuses little on Bruce Wayne's fault.
It's only about the villains. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you just get bare bones of Bruce Wayne scenes.
Right. That's why he made sure every detail for the Joker's costume was perfect, and Batman was just this latex outfit thing.
Just afterthought.
Just whatever. We'll get Michael Keaton. We'll give him Beetlejuice, and then fuck him. We're gonna get Johnny Depp.
So my opinion of Batman Begins improved a little bit, and yours remained the same, or did I ruin the fight scenes, or
well,
did you lose anything from this viewing experience?
I'll say this. The more how I am, just who I am and how I act and everything like that, every time I watch a movie again after I've thoroughly processed it and made my mind up about it, every time I watch after that, I have to make fun of it. I just nitpick it just to be funny and silly. So like in this one, for instance, I notice he's always having to be perched on something. He meets Rachel Dawes, he's perched on some fucking railing. He meets Gordon, when he meets Gordon, he holds him up. But
yeah, some movie executives like, no, this is the angle.
Yeah. When he fights Ra's al Ghul, Ra's al Ghul, whatever you say, when he fights him in the train, he literally gets in the train, runs up, grabs a thing, swings up, and then perches on a fucking chair. Like, he just perches all the time, and that's kind of funny to me. And the whole, like you said, the fighting sequences being really fast-paced and dizzying, I mean, that's kind of a letdown. Like I said twice, I mean, I can't unsee it now. I just can't unsee it. But, it's still cool. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, it doesn't serve as an alibi or an excuse by any means, but I do remember that at the time this was filmed, a lot of those like crazy, fast, dizzying fight scenes, that was kind of the thing.
Yeah.
So I get it, but it's just not my thing, and I'm glad that they realized that with the sequel and with the trilogy overall, because
Well, we'll see next movie. I don't know what the fights really look like in Dark Knight, because he never really has a throwdown with the Joker, really.
yeah, that's true.
And when he's fighting goons, I would bet it's still shaky cam. But now in Dark Knight Rises, they totally changed that.
You know what? I just realized something that I'm gonna make. A point that I'm gonna make in The Dark Knight Rises, because it's about the whole trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
But I have just completely been almost let down by Christopher Nolan. Like, wow, in a way. One thing that I do love about this movie that he never does again is the whole censor thing, where
that's from year one.
They all flood in and everything. That's really, really cool. And yeah, I do remember that in year one. And that's just so cool.
It's awesome, but like I said, you can't fault him too much because it wasn't practical in either.
It's not practical at all. Yeah, that's true.
Although, well, Bane destroys the Batcave in number 3, but that would have been awesome for when he comes back to Gotham. If he just unleashed that plague of bats as his calling card for I'm back.
That would have been cool, yeah, for sure. But I don't know. You got anything else?
Last thing on the casting. Do you like how characters? Do you like how Bullock is kind of into these movies, but not really? Because
he's Flash, but
Yeah.
he's also kind of Bullock.
He looks just like Bullock.
Yeah.
And especially in the new Gotham, Bullock's one of those, I'm kind of dirty, I'm kind of on the right side. And this is kind of how Flask sees him as.
Yeah.
And the first Tim Burton Batman, that guy looks just damn like Bullock, but isn't called that, is it?
Yeah, that's true. What we have to definitely talk on, though, is the casting decisions that could have been.
Oh, yeah.
For instance,
freaking everybody was almost Batman.
Yeah.
But the funniest is probably Henry Cavill from Man of Steel and Amy Adams, Lois Lane from Man of Steel were almost Bruce Wayne and Rachel Dawes, respectively,
Yeah.
which is amazing.
Yeah, that really is. Like, that's just literally Batman and Superman, the two fanboys colliding, the two, like, they always fight. Batman versus Superman coming out in theaters, and Superman and Lois Lane were almost Batman and Rachel Dawes. That's just crazy.
I can't decide if this shows how smart Warner Brothers and DC is to be like, oh, we had this new movie coming out. Well, who were the second best choices last time we cast a movie?
Yeah.
Is that smart or is that just damn lazy? Like, well, I mean, we almost gave this guy the role, and we almost gave that chick the role. So are they free? Are they free? Let's make a phone call.
But I love that Heath Ledger tried out,
Mm-hmm.
and then he ended up being the Joker. And I love that they thought about Jake Gyllenhaal, because in retrospect, Maggie Gyllenhaal is Rachel Dawes in The Dark Knight.
Dark Knight.
So that would have been this whole like sister brother romance. Was fuck, dude. That's just another Star Wars connection. So I
God
mean, why
damn it,
not?
Christopher Nolan, you almost made my analogy so much better.
But that would have been weird. That would have been really. Seeing Jake Gyllenhaal as Batman would be fucking weird. Heath Ledger, maybe. I could maybe see that. Although you can't really compare because he's the Joker. So, I don't know. But,
I'm a big Buffy and Angel fan. David Boreanaz from, you ever seen Bones? Okay, so you don't know anything this guy's done.
you'll have to show me him once
Okay.
we're done with this, but yeah.
But yeah, he was offered the chance to try out for Batman. He didn't even take it because he didn't think he had a shot. But, which I guess I'm glad he wasn't Batman, but I wish he would have shown up so it could have been something in this movie.
Yeah, because apparently everyone who tried out for this movie for Batman that didn't get it ended up being a villain or something
Yeah.
anyways. So, I mean, hell, we should have tried out for Batman.
I would have so been a League of Shadows guy.
Yeah, definitely.
Of course, I'm
Definitely.
way too damn short. I would stick out like a sore thumb.
I'd have to shave my beard because right now all I could shop for is Big Daddy and kick ass. I'd have to show off to see the Pilky mustache going, but then for sure, Big Daddy. My concluding thought is the concluding thought of the movie. That Easter egg is just awesome. I mean,
You're right. That's the best way to end this. 'Cause
Yeah.
In my mind, that's the best thing about this movie.
Because-
Oh my god, that's the best 2 minutes of Batman ever.
Well, okay, there's only two times you see the bat signal in this movie. The first time is when he strings up Carmine Falcone and just happens to make the bat signal, which is cool because Gordon sees it and he's like, okay. And then at the end of the movie, he actually has the bat signal made and he shows it to Bruce. Well, not to Bruce, he showed it to Batman for the first time. And he's just like, here's the evidence envelope or whatever, Ziploc, whatever that is, plastic baggie. And he's like, this is the Joker's calling card. And that is so, and he doesn't list him off as this super villain. He's just like double homicide and armed robbery. He likes to leave
He
a
has
calling card. He
for
has a
theatrics.
flavor for theatrics just like you do. And here it is.
I'll say this though,
It's so awesome.
it's awesome, but isn't it like the most nonchalant anybody's ever talked about the Joker?
It is, but that's what I like though. Because it's trying to be, in my opinion, these movies are trying to be realistic, and realistically,
Yeah, Gordon deals with murders every day.
and realistically, superheroes and supervillains don't exist, or so we think. Phoenix Jones, but anyway, so I thought that was pretty cool, but yeah, I mean, we'll follow that up with The Dark Knight. And,
I don't know, I guess that's gonna be just a lot of us nitpicking things, because it's either that or just us masturbating to the movies.
yeah.
So I have nothing bad to say about that film.
Yeah, I mean, for real, yeah. Dark Knight is us just gonna be like,
That might be our shortest one.
probably. So this was just great. All of this is great. This is flawless. This, maybe not so comical Joker, but good Joker, dark. Great. Yeah, so.
See you guys next time with hopefully our shortest podcast.
Yeah, probably our shortest podcast.